Hello, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and welcome to January. On January 11th, the nodes of fate will shift after spending a year and a half in your Aries 6th house of work and day-to-day life, health, and pets, and your Libra 12th house of rest, seclusion. The 12th house represents like the hidden world, past lives, foreign lands, just to name a few. And we'll shift over to the Pisces Virgo axis, which I think you're going to like. Pisces and Virgo trine and sextile your sun, moon, or ascendant until July 26, 2026. And the nodes will also be shifting into so much more lucky houses for you. The 6th and the 12th are considered, I don't want to say negative, but kind of. They're the 6th house is the house of hidden or open enemies. The 12th house is the house of undoing behaviors and addictions and prisons and hidden enemies. So, amongst other things, there are other very positive things in both those houses. However, the 5th Pisces house contains love, romance, children, fun, creativity, theater, acting, winning in sports, speculative gains. It's considered a luck house, and also a house where we receive good karma from our past lives. The south node will be in your 11th house, another good luck house where we can win big lottery gains, windfalls that come in, gains from your 10th house of career show up here, celebrities, large groups of people, networks, networking, humanitarian groups, internet, AI, science, tech. You can find investing in those areas there. This shift, again, is going to trine your sun or sextile your sun, which represents your sun is your health, fathers, vitality, career. Moon is mother, home, family, emotional landscape, your etheric body, or the rising. The rising is the point that all of us astrologers cast our forecast from. It starts with the first house. The rising house is the point in which the world sees us. It's our physical vessel and the most important angle in our chart. The energy for this new shift started to occur with the lunar Pisces. I hear my dog crying. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to pause and let him in the room. He's my familiar. He likes to be with me wherever I go. One moment. Okay, the energy for this new shift started to occur with the lunar eclipse that happened in Pisces in September. I drew a tarot card for that eclipse and described it in detail, and I'll link that video for you. I drew a tarot card specifically for you, Scorpio, and I will list that down in the description box down below, as well as all the important dates that I'm going to mention in this video, so don't worry about trying to capture any of those or write them down. They'll be written down for you, and then you can just take a screenshot with your phone or something like that. There will be one more solar eclipse in Aries on March 29th at 8 degrees, affecting you most from 4 to 14 degrees if you have Libra or Aries placements, Cancer or Capricorn at those degrees. Since July 2023, the spotlight had been on your work, your health, the job that you do for a living. Not the one that you truly want to do. This covers work that we just have to do to maintain, our mundane day-to-day lives. This house also covers open enemies and competition, your pets, healthcare workers, service workers like nurses, police, herbalists, healthcare practitioners. You may have had fated work opportunities come up, hired new people to work for you, found a solution to a health problem, developed a new workout routine like lifting weights. This is Aries 6th house for you, and Aries ruler is Mars. You also share the ruler Mars with Aries. You could have also developed some kind of other Martian sport or exercise routine, and you could have had a fated new pet show up in your life. You could have invested or purchased rental property, maybe even on foreign land, as the 12th house represents foreign money and land and has been looking over at your opposite house, which is the 6th house. You could have started a business here and had to focus strongly on that in your day-to-day, finding the right people to work for you on that. For example, your energy would have definitely been very much centered around these topics, especially if you're Scorpio rising. The south node was in the house of past lives, the 12th, and you could have been dealing with and letting go of past life karma, undoing behaviors and addictions. There could have been less foreign travel or money opportunities with foreign shores. This is the house to past lives before we come into our first house body. It's also a house where we like to retreat to heal, like hospitals if needed for an illness, or ashrams. We can make pilgrimages to foreign lands, to spiritual places in this house. One thing I like to point out is that K2 or the south node does not block. That is Saturn's job. K2 is the tail of the dragon that sweeps away old karmic stories. It's the node of past lives, and the head of the dragon is Rahu, which is an all-consuming, hungry mouth that wants to devour whatever is in the house that it sits in. And for you, that strong appetite was on the house of day-to-day life, work, and health. Whether you wanted it to be or not, it's fated, and with the north node, and it's also an unfamiliar territory and can seem a little bit intimidating or scary at first because we're unfamiliar with that energy. That energy is foreign to us, and it can literally be foreign. You could have started a business here and had to focus strongly on that in your day-to-day work, and that can seem scary or intimidating. Finding the right people to work for you, whereas K2 is where we are comfortable and familiar, but we have no growth if we stay in our south node for too long. You can also take a south node story and use it to funnel whatever you've learned into the north node house that sits opposite. For example, you could have taken on a spiritual practice or a divine piece of creation like music or art that can happen in that 12th house. It's a Neptune house, a film project, for example, and funneled that into a tangible work into that 6th house where you can make money from it in the house of practicality. In the 6th house, it's a work house, it's a Artha house, a earth house, money house. Okay, last but not least, if you didn't feel you accomplished what you wanted to in that 6th house, know that we have a solar eclipse in Aries on March 29th or March 30th. I'll have to double check my dates. I'll have the correct one in the description box. And that brings in something new into that house, and that energy will reverberate out for 6 more months until the energy concludes by the Aries full moon in October. Then, honestly, this energy in the 6th will still remain strongly in focus. Your health will be very important to take care of, as Saturn will be moving in there on May 24th. Make sure to keep hydrated, bone density by lifting weights, as Saturn dehydrates where he goes and can weaken your bone structure, just a FYI. And this will continue for years to come because Neptune moves into this house. Here we go. Neptune moves in on March 30th, the day after the eclipse. Then Saturn will join in on May 24th. Both planets will retrograde back into Pisces for a bit over 2025, but then move forward to make a 0-degree conjunction in Aries on February 20th, 2026. This conjunction actually happens at 0 degrees in Aries in that 6th house on May 24th, is kind of like a prelude of that energy, and then that point at 0 degrees gets hit again when Neptune and Saturn are moving forward, February 20th, 2026. This conjunction heralds a new beginning in that 6th house area. It can bring something to light, crystallize, or solidify something that you've been working on, for example, in that 6th house. There will also be another conjunction. A lot of Saturn here. Saturn in the North Node and Pisces this spring. That one will be exact April 18th through the 22nd, but felt from the end of March all the way through May. So, what is all this looking like? This could show a creative project or an endeavor that can be brought to life and become what you do for a living, as it lays the foundation for a dream to come true. Saturn meeting Neptune meeting the North Node of fate and destiny is very much like rapidly manifesting a deep desire or dream, but given with practical action and work and effort that you have to put in, because Saturn really doesn't give anything for nothing. It could be something that you could possibly it could bring you gains that come in from other resources, like investing in something creative, as the ruler of this conjunction is Jupiter, and Jupiter is currently sitting in your 8th house of others' resources in Gemini, gains we don't earn, like returns on stocks from investments, inheritances, etc. Sometimes Saturn shows the area's weakness in whatever house it's transiting, but that's only so we can work on it to make it better, stronger, and lasting. When you do the work and you fix something in the house that Saturn is sitting in, it's built to last. And Saturn does deliver gifts. He is not like the Punisher. He's very much like the stern grandfather who wants you to learn a lesson, and then you get the wisdom or the gift from it once you do. And I actually really like Saturn with Neptune. I know that sounds crazy, but I love it because without Saturn's solid earthy nature, Neptune just exists in that kind of nebulous dream state and doesn't materialize. So start jotting down your plans now or ideas that come to you from the ethers, because Neptune is also divine inspiration. You can bring them into reality, but again, it will be with some hard work, as Saturn doesn't reward unless you do. He loves a plan and then consistent action. But you're Scorpio, and you and Aries are ruled by Mars, so I know you're no slouch. Hard work for you is nothing. You have power and drive and spades, because Pluto is also your other ruler. The North Node will be in a lucky house now for 1.5 years, driving your focus there on that fifth. And this, again, is where you can have the conjunction in the spring will be happening. And you can take something from this house and make this, the work that you want to do, as the conjunction also moves on to that sixth house. The focus will be on children, fate, winning a lottery or speculative gains, winning competitions, sports. A creative project can be brought to life, like I mentioned before with Saturn. A destined romantic partner can come in over this timeline, and they may have Saturn prominent placements, or they're coming back from a past life as well. Maybe luck in this house can be happening not only for you, but also for your children if you have any. You can use the south node in your 11th Virgo house that covers topics like internet, large groups, and networks as a means to bring your creative projects to life. Like maybe you have a significant social media following and you're not so much letting go of it, you're not really focused on that, but you can use that area to promote your said project, as we can use the south node where we have already gained experience and funnel that experience over to the north node house sitting opposite. A friend from a past life, as well as the south node represents past lives, can be a benefit to you now, or a friend group over the next 1.5 years. Maybe they can hook you up with like a lucky contact, for example. The other thing I love about this nodal shift is that Jupiter will move into Cancer, which is another lucky house for you. And Jupiter will be trining you once it moves into Cancer for a whole year, starting in June. Jupiter is actually at home in your 9th house. He rules the 9th house. And Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So I think this is going to be very exciting, very good for you, Scorpio, and just in time. It was in detriment when it was in Gemini, as it is in the opposite sign that it belongs in. It belongs in Sagittarius. Gemini is opposite from Sag. You'll be receiving trines from Jupiter to your sun, moon, or ascendant, and he'll be trining over to your water houses, Pisces, in your lucky 5th house. This will create a grand water trine for you, Scorpio, over the coming year, starting in June. And this makes a flow of ease, protection, good luck, expansion for anything you begin now in that 5th house area with the North Node and Saturn. Saturn gives longevity and staying power, and you can meet a fated, destined love from a past life with Saturn. I think I might have mentioned that. You could create a child, since this is the house of children, or if you have children already, it could be something they're doing. Maybe they're prepping for college, as the 9th house represents higher education, or maybe they're involved in sports and athletics, theater, etc. You can write a book, develop a play, a film, a screenplay, movie, as Neptune rules the visual arts. You can have fated opportunities around speculative investments. You can travel now, as for the past 1.5 years, you had probably been less interested in doing that, or maybe you couldn't travel because you were very focused on your day-to-day life of your immediate environment, wanting to change something there, especially in that workhouse. Jupiter co-rules Sagittarius, and that's your 2nd house of banking and income. And you can make more money, especially if it's tied to something foreign, or a 9th house in nature. Like say if you do write a book or develop a creative project, you can find a foreign shore audience or a publicist or a publishing house for the creation, and it can bring in big gains for you. But all in all, I think these transits are looking good for you, Scorpio. Most importantly, the nodal shift can really shake up wherever that house has been stagnant. And for you, that's been the 5th house with Saturn sitting there. So the nodes, moving in here into the 5th can really shake a creativity rut, or an issue with children rut. And then Jupiter is also going to expand and come in and help that house as well. So Jupiter, again, will be forming a grand water trine between your 1st house, your 5th lucky house, and also the 9th house, which is a luck house. And there'll be more on this to come. But for now, I think I'll leave it there. This is all like a great thing to look forward to this year, as well as going all the way into 2026. Take care, Scorpio.